Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 18th of September 2023. In today's newspaper discussion, we are going to cover those topics that are important for the UPSC prelims and mains exam. And today we are also going to discuss a topic related to mapping. And we have taken a very interesting topic for the mapping. Okay, so let us start discussing the topics one by one. So these are the list of articles that we are going to cover. So list of articles along with the relevance is mentioned over here. Okay, so we are going to cover all these topics one by one. So with this, let us start the first topic for the day. So this is going to be a mapping topic, and it's going to be important for the prelims exam because prelims exam is very near. So that's why we have thought of covering a mapping topic today, and bear us for the quality of the video that you can see. So let's talk about this thing. Okay, so this particular map that I have included, it showcases the maps, seas of the world. So sea and oceans are mapped in this particular map that you can see. So here we are going to talk about a specific sea today, which is Caspian Sea. So this is the location of Caspian Sea. We can see, okay, this is here where the Caspian Sea is located. Okay, so this is Caspian Sea. So why Caspian Sea is important? Because nowadays, because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, right, the Black Sea is in the news once in a while. Okay, and yesterday we have discussed about, let's say yesterday means the previous day's lecture, we have discussed about Nagorno-Karabakh region. So where we discussed about Armenia and Azerbaijan. So this Caspian Sea has border with Azerbaijan. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about those countries, right, that surround the Caspian Sea. Why it is important? It is important for the prelims exam. Okay, so this is where the Caspian Sea is located. So you can see it is there in the, let's say, western portion, right, western portion of India. So like India is over here. If you go little north and if you go little west, so like this is where Caspian Sea is located. And before Caspian Sea, we have the Central Asian countries. Okay, so yesterday we discussed about Central Asian countries also. So now let us quickly see those countries that surround the Caspian Sea. So this Caspian Sea is surrounded by 5 countries. Okay, how many countries? 5 countries. We are going to learn about names of these countries now. Okay, so here let's see, this is a map of Caspian Sea. So how many countries are surrounding Caspian Sea? 5. So this is Russia is number 1 country. Okay, Russia is surrounding Caspian Sea from the western side. Then we have another country which is Azerbaijan. Okay, Azerbaijan. This is the second country. Then if I talk about Iran, Iran is the 3rd country. And Iran is in news today. Okay, it was there in the editorial section. Iran is in news today. All right. So Iran is the 3rd country. Then we have Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan is the 4th country. And then we have Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is the 5th country. So you can remember the name of the countries in this fashion. Okay, means like you can move from Russia in anti-clockwise fashion. Okay, or you can move in clockwise fashion also. It depends upon you. So Caspian Sea is surrounded by 5 countries. Number 1 Russia, number 2 Azerbaijan, number 3 Iran, number 4 Turkmenistan, and number 5 Kazakhstan. Okay, so this seas are generally landlocked. So these are landlocked. There are, let's say, there are countries that are sharing border with the Caspian Sea. Okay, so they are surrounded by land from all the sides. Okay, generally seas are surrounded by land from all the sides. That's the thing. So here let us understand little bit about Caspian Sea. All right, so Caspian Sea is surrounded by 5 countries and is often considered to be landlocked sea. These countries are known as Caspian littoral states. Okay, these countries that surround the Caspian Sea, they are known as Caspian littoral states. Okay, so name of the countries I have mentioned over here. You can remember the countries in this fashion, let's say anti-clockwise fashion. Russia, Azerbaijan, Iran, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan. You can note it down that manner itself. However, I have listed it in a different order. Russia, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Iran, Azerbaijan. So these are the countries, okay. So this is another map of Caspian Sea itself, so that like you can clearly see, right, those countries that are surrounding Caspian Sea. So with this, let us move to the first topic for the day, okay. So we are going to discuss the first topic now. This topic says India is at a pivotal movement in its healthcare journey. This article has been written by a doctor, and she is a doctor cum founder. She has founded the Apollo group of hospitals, Apollo Pharmacy and all, okay. So this person is a very prominent person, and he has talked about the healthcare sector of India. So through this article, we are going to discuss about very important concepts. We will learn about what is non-communicable diseases. We will learn about, let's say like, how artificial intelligence can help in healthcare solutions. We are going to discuss about medical value travel, right? So we are going to discuss about, let's say like, many such important concepts through this particular lecture, okay? So let's discuss about these topics one by one. So name of the topic is, okay, so yes, good afternoon Chirag, thank you so much for joining. So I hope the quality of the video is good. We are sitting in the next classroom, so here sometimes the quality of the video is not good, however sound is good, so bear with us. So first topic that we are discussing is India is at a pivotal movement, okay. India is at a pivotal movement in its healthcare journey, okay, in its healthcare journey. So this is the topic that we are going to understand today. India is at a pivotal moment in its healthcare journey. So in this article, the author has praised about India, okay. So author has talked about what are positives with India. So what are the things that are positives in India? One of the thing is like, let's say like, India is playing, right? India is playing a greater role, okay. It is playing a greater role in diplomacy related to many things. What are those areas where it is playing greater role? One of the areas, let's say like recently India has had presidency of G20, and G20 summit that has happened, right? This G20 summit was a success, right? It was a success for India. So this is one area where India has performed really well. Apart from this, India has recently launched Chandrayaan 3 mission, right? India has launched Chandrayaan 3 mission. And not to forget that Chandrayaan 3 mission was recently launched, and I had taken an editorial discussion class on Chandrayaan 3. There I discussed about fundamental concepts related to space science. We have discussed about objectives of Chandrayaan 3 mission. We have discussed about, let's say, launch vehicle and other things. So Chandrayaan 3 related, there was a question in the UPSC mains exam this year. This year itself in UPSC mains exam, GS paper 3, they have asked related to Chandrayaan, okay. So author is saying that India is playing a greater role in the world now. Somewhere it is leading, and somewhere, let's say like, it is the only country that has achieved certain feat. For example, through Chandrayaan 3 mission, we have done a soft landing. What we have done? We have done a soft landing on south pole of the moon, okay, south pole of the moon. So this was a greatest achievement because India was the only country to do it. So after praising about India, the author also says that, like, not only India is making progress, but the thing is, like, there are certain concerns also that is in front of India, okay. There are certain areas where India needs to perform little better, okay. There are certain areas. So what are those areas we are going to discuss in this article? Okay, so author has talked about what are the issues that concern India today. So one of the important issue that concerns India is related to non-communicable diseases, okay, related to non-communicable diseases. In short, it is known as NCDs. So we need to understand what are non-communicable diseases. Non-communicable diseases are those diseases that, let's say, if one person is affected by it, so this disease does not get transmitted from one person to another person. For example, examples of non-communicable diseases will be, let's say, cardiovascular diseases, okay, cardiovascular diseases. For example, heart related ailments, right, heart related ailments, heart stroke, etc. They are examples of non-communicable diseases. If I talk about diabetes, okay, so diabetes is also an example of non-communicable disease. If I talk about cancer, it's also a non-communicable disease, right? So there can be many other non-communicable diseases. Main thing in non-communicable disease is like it does not transmit from one person to another person. That's the thing. Yes, hypertension. Yes, hypertension is also related to cardiovascular disease. I mean, like hypertension leads to, let's say, heart stroke and all. Hypertension means high blood pressure, okay. So when we talk about hypertension, so it is associated with high BP, high blood pressure, okay, that leads to cardiovascular disease in worst case scenario. So the author is saying that India is also the capital of non-communicable diseases of the world. India is capital of diabetes, means like, you know, although we are making lot of progress in many other areas, but the thing is progress in tackling the non-communicable disease is not at par what is expected. So we need to do more. And why we need to do more? We need to do more to avoid something known as age tax, okay, something known as age tax. What do we mean by age tax? So in this article the author has said that, like, you know, like India has a growing population, right? India has a population that is growing, okay, that is increasing. And currently India is the largest most populated country in the world. We have the highest number of population, highest number of people in the world in India. But since we are having increasing, let's say, like, you know, we are having increasing population, number of people are increasing, but like we do have a population dividend. Population dividend means like where, so we will talk about this particular thing, population dividend. It means, let's say, out of the total population, what is the age profile of the population? What is the age profile of the population? Age profile means, like, you know, those people who are in the working age, are they the maximum number of people out of all the, let's say, number of people that are there in your country? Yes, we do have working age people in, let's say, like, you know, in significant proportion. Since we have working age people in significant proportion, so these people are going to take the country forward, okay, it is going to take country forward. How it is going to take country forward? This is like, you know, these working age population is going to do innovation. They are going to work and they are going to, let's say, like, you know, take care of the elderly also. So the thing is, like, you know, at this juncture where India has a high burden of non-communicable diseases, now we need to make sure that these diseases are taken care of by the country. And how we can take care of? The author says that there should be, let's say, public-private partnership, okay, means like, you know, public healthcare facilities and private healthcare facilities, right? They should come together, okay, they should join hands. They should join hands to share expertise and raise awareness among people. if we share expertise, if we raise awareness among people, what we will be able to achieve? We will be able to achieve a healthier society. And if we have a healthier society, so they will have less burden on the healthcare systems. They will have less burden on the society, and they will be working more, and they are going to make the country more prosperous country. Okay, so this is what the author is saying in this article. And apart from this, the author has also talked about that, like, author has talked about few concepts. Okay, few concepts. For example, one of the concept that the author has talked about, that India is working as a medical hub, and India can further become a global medical hub. Okay, so India can become a further global medical hub. How we can become a global medical hub? By improving the way we are providing our medical services, medical facilities to people. So there are many people from across the world who visit India for medical purposes, and this is known as medical value travel. Okay, this is known as medical value travel. Okay, MVT. Medical value travel means tourists from other countries, they come to India for seeking health expertise from India, for getting treatment. Okay, that is known as medical value travel. So a significant proportion of people from outside world, they come to India to get benefit, right, of the medical value travel in India. So this is, the author is saying that, like, why India is a medical destination for the world? Because of three factors. Okay, because of what? Three factors. What are those three factors? These, one of the factor is price. Okay, one of the factor is price, means like we are providing medical facilities to people at a cheaper cost. Okay, at a cheaper cost. Okay, so we are providing what we are providing? We are providing world class facilities at less price. And second thing, the author has said, like, we have, let's say, world class medical expertise. Okay, so we have, let's say, world class medical expertise, like, our doctors have a good expertise with them in medical field. The third issue, third thing is, let's say, like, we have a state of art infrastructure. All right, we have a state of art infrastructure. These are the three areas, these are the three factors because of which people find India to be a medical value travel destination, right, from across the world. So that's the thing. So author is saying this thing. And why it is significant? Because, like, through medical value travel, we are providing some of the best quality treatment to people who need treatment related to, let's say, cardiovascular diseases. Okay, cardiovascular diseases, these are in short known as CVDs. Okay, cardiovascular diseases, CVDs. And then cancer treatment. Okay, cancer treatment happens in oncology department. Okay, cancer treatment, etc. So that's why, I mean, like, these high end medical facilities are available, with our doctors, with our medical professionals. And also we are utilizing, right, we are utilizing artificial intelligence. What we are using? We are using artificial intelligence for healthcare purposes. Healthcare purposes. Artificial intelligence we are using for healthcare purposes. So how artificial intelligence can be used for healthcare purposes? Artificial intelligence can be used for, let's say, like, image analysis. We can do image analysis using AI. For example, let's say if we have x-rays, okay, if we have x-rays, or let's say, like, we have other such kind of, let's say, like, images. So these n number of x-rays can be analyzed using artificial intelligence, using algorithm. And these x-rays will actually help, right? These, like, image analysis will help in detection of diseases. Okay, it will help in detection of diseases. Means detection of diseases, which is also known as disease diagnosis. Okay, disease diagnosis. That's the thing. Apart from this, we can use artificial intelligence in many other ways in the healthcare facilities. Okay, means like we can use artificial intelligence along with robotics for targeted treatment. Okay, for targeted treatment, and there are many, let's say, kind of surgeries that are performed. They are known as less invasive surgeries. So they can also be performed using the help of artificial intelligence and robotics together. Okay, so we can have diagnosis with diagnosis with high efficiency, high efficacy can be conducted. And apart from this, artificial intelligence can be used for let's say for precision medicine. Okay, for the purpose of precision medicine, okay, etc. This is the thing. So that's why the author is saying that since India is functioning as a medical value travel destination, so we need to make it sure that our health infrastructure can further be made world class by, let's say, funding projects for research and development, and by, let's say, educating more people in the field of, let's say, medicine, and also, right, by creating many infrastructures at various levels, right? So that's how our, let's say, healthcare facility will become more robust. So that's why the author has finally said that a reimagination of its healthcare model can lead the country to becoming powerhouse in AI driven healthcare solutions and a leader in combating non-communicable diseases. Okay, so we need to invest more in artificial intelligence related to medicine, because we need to invest for few years and it has a potential of giving huge returns. Author has also mentioned about that number as well. So we need to invest around 11.78 billion by 2025, and it is expected to add $1 trillion to India's economy by 2035. Okay, so that's the thing. So it does have huge economic benefit, right? It has huge economic benefit. So with this, let us move to the next topic now. And before that, we have two questions. One of the question is for the mains exam, other is for the prelims exam. Mains exam question is pretty short, pretty simple. And yesterday, the GS paper 3 that was conducted, there was a question in Indian economy section that how artificial intelligence can be used, right, for agriculture purposes. And for that, there have been the Hindu news, there have been articles in the Hindu earlier in the month of January, right? So there that have covered. So there were reports from NABARD also. So this is another question. It says how artificial intelligence is transforming healthcare worldwide. Explain. Okay, so it needs to be answered in 150 words. Okay, just 150 words it needs to be answered. So with this, after writing an answer to this question, you can share your answer with us at Jahidul at lukmaanias.com. This is my email address. With this, we will see this question, the prelims question. It says, with reference to the proton beam therapy, consider the following statements. Okay, so this proton beam therapy has been mentioned in the article that we just covered. So 4 statements are given. We need to identify which is the right let's say answer. So it says protons are accelerated to 70% of the speed of light. This is actually done. Okay, so protons are accelerated to 70% of the speed of light. So what is the speed of light? Speed of light is denoted by a symbol c, which is equal to 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meters per second. So protons are accelerated to a speed of 70 by 100 into 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. That's the thing. Okay, or you can say 0.7 into this thing. So in proton beam therapy, proton beam therapy is used for directly targeting protons towards cancerous cells so that we can destroy the cancerous cells. Okay, so it is not only done for the cancerous cells, it is also done for those cells that come together, that accumulate, right? For that purpose also it is done. So it says protons are accelerated to 70% of the speed of light. This is right. Second statement says the beam targeting the tumor is high dose at entry and reduces as it goes through the brain. Okay, this is wrong. Okay, so it is generally, let's say, low dose at entry, then like its speed increases as it goes through the brain. Okay, so second statement is wrong. Third, it says protons have unique properties that allow doctors to better target radiation to the size and shape of tumor. Okay. Fourth, it can be used to treat non-cancerous collections of cells in children and adults. Okay, proton beam therapy can be used for, let's say, like children and adults also. So only 3 are correct. It means the correct answer would be option C. Yes, Chirag has let's say, like written it in the best possible manner. So he has already answered option 3. Okay, so second statement is wrong, and first, third and fourth statement are right. So correct answer would be option C. Here it is mentioned option B, so it will be option C. Okay, so that's the thing. You can go through the details in your free time after downloading the PDF, and we do have an image. It showcases comparing X-ray therapy with proton beam therapy. Okay, so this is X-ray therapy and this is proton beam therapy. So what happens in X-ray radiation? So the X-ray radiation targeting the tumor is high dose at entry and reduces as it goes through the brain. So this was the second statement in the question. So this is related to X-ray radiation. It is not related to proton beam therapy. So this can affect healthy cells before and after the tumor. And in case of proton beam therapy, protons are accelerated to 70% of the speed of light. They slow down as the beam enters the target area and releases their energy into the tumor, but do not go beyond the tumor. Okay, this is the thing. So with this, let us explanation to the means question is also given here. You can go through it in your free time. Then we have another question topic. It says crafting a new chapter in parliamentary conduct. Okay, so this article has been written by Mr. Shashi Tharoor. He is a parliamentarian, right, in Indian Parliament, and like he has got a Sahitya Academy Award, and he has written many books also. All right. So in this article, basically, Mr. Shashi Tharoor has compared the Parliament of India with the Parliament of Great Britain, and he has talked about. So we are going to discuss about this topic in detail quickly, and I'll be quick also in covering this topic. So second topic, name of the topic is crafting a new chapter in parliamentary conduct. Okay, crafting a new chapter in parliamentary conduct. So basically here, what is the context of writing this article, why he has written this article? Because recently, like we have created a new parliamentary building. Okay, we have created a new parliamentary building. Earlier, the parliamentary building was the one which was built by, let's say, the Britishers. But now we have created a new parliamentary building. And sir, is proton beam therapy only useful in case of brain tumor? No, it is not used only in case of brain tumor. It can be used for other kind of tumors and for, let's say, like treating the cancerous cells also. So not only for brain, it can be used for other purposes also. Generally, proton beam therapy is used for brain because like it is one of the most sophisticated technique. However, this proton beam therapy is a very costly therapy as well, and people like who are getting the treatment for brain, so they don't want to go for, let's say, lesser, what we say, lesser type of, what we say, surgeries and all. So this proton beam therapy is relatively new and it's noble, and it has let's say, more precision as compared to other therapies, but it is used for other kind of tumor also. Okay, that's the thing. I have just used one image that showcases for brain. Okay, now we are talking about this chapter which says crafting a new chapter in parliamentary conduct. Okay, so it says new parliamentary building, means like recently the government of India has created a new building. However, they have not started doing their, let's say, like business in the new parliamentary building. I mean, like new parliamentary building has been inaugurated, but they have not started functioning there. So that's why the recently the government has decided that they are going to shift to the new parliamentary building. Okay, so that's why this article has been written. However, he has said that on the very first day of the new parliamentary building, it is possible that the opposition may not allow the conduct of business over there freely. Why? Because the opposition parties does have many issues that are still not addressed by the ruling party. Okay, so that's why there is likelihood that there can be disruptions in the parliament. However, the disruptions in the parliament in India happen very frequently because the opposition is not given their due importance, because the opposition members are also, let's say, member of parliament. They should be given due importance irrespective of the party they are coming from. So author says that there exists some difference in ways that Indian parliament functions and, let's say, parliament of other countries, especially parliament of Great Britain functions. Okay, so we are going to discuss about it. Okay, we are going to discuss about it. So the thing is, if on one side, let's say, we mention Parliament of India. So in this article, basically the author has said that there are two ways, at least two ways that are different between Indian and Britain's parliament. So what are these two different ways? One of the way is, in Great Britain they have something which is known as Opposition Day. Okay, they have something which is known as Opposition Day. And second thing that Great Britain has, it is known as Prime Minister's Question Time. Okay, it is known as Prime Minister's Question Time, PMQT. Okay, PMQT. So what is Opposition Day? What is Prime Minister's Question Time? This is important for us to understand. Okay, these are important concepts. Let's understand what do we mean by Opposition Day. Okay, first concept is, so why he is talking about these concepts? Because these are cited as solutions to the parliamentary disruptions that happen. Okay, so Opposition Day is a day, let's say, a specific day in a week. Okay, a specific day in a week, a specific day in a week where the agenda of the house, okay, where the agenda of the house means of the parliament, will be set by, okay, will be set by the opposition's demand, or by the opposition. Means in India what happens, the agenda of the house is generally set by the ruling party and by its members, and most of the committees of the parliament are headed by the, let's say, MPs or members of the ruling party. Okay, members of the ruling party. So opposition does not get proper attention, and at the same time opposition voice, are, let's say, neglected, because the ruling party has more numbers in the parliament, so they can get the bills passed without the presence of the opposition also. So that has been happening. But in the Great Britain, what they have a system of opposition day. A day in a week where, I mean, like, you know, the opposition parties can set the agenda for the day. They can share the topics like on which the discussions and deliberation are going to happen. And this particular opposition day thing has been there in the Great Britain for a long time, before India became independent. And when India became independent, so that time, like, India has, let's say, willfully not taken these two concepts into the parliamentary practice in India. One of the concept is opposition day. So how the opposition day is decided? Generally in it is decided in the beginning of the session itself by a consensus by a discussion or negotiation between the ruling party and the opposition parties. Okay, so this particular day, opposition day, gives the opposition members to bring forth all those let's say topics on which they want a discussion in the parliament. For example, in India, if you talk about the Manipur related issue, right, violence in Manipur, so that has been happening for a long time. And that violence in Manipur has been happening, but, like, you know, whenever the opposition party, let's say, like, you know, thinks of interacting on this matter, the ruling party, I mean, like, you know, they do not take it up as a matter in the house. So they do not discuss, they do not give answer to the questions raised by the opposition. So that's why Mr. Shashi Tharoor says that, like, you know, we can reinvent something in the parliamentary conduct. We can bring opposition day in Indian parliament also, okay, so that opposition also gets proper time, and it's going to reduce the number of disruptions that happen in the parliament. Okay, this is one concept. The second concept that, I mean, Mr. Shashi Tharoor has mentioned, it is Prime Minister's question time. Okay, Prime Minister's question time. Prime Minister's question time. So what is this Prime Minister's question time? Basically, Prime Minister's question time is a specific day. Let's say, like in Great Britain, they have set Wednesday. Okay, they have set Wednesday, that too in the afternoon of Wednesday, when the opposition leader and the opposition members of the parliament, they raise their questions directly to the Prime Minister. So on this particular day, the Prime Minister remains present in the parliament. So he receives questions from the opposition member, he receives questions from other people, and he answers those questions there. And, like, you know, it becomes a spectacle for the TV shows in Great Britain, because, like, they also see how the Prime Minister is responding to the questions raised by the opposition. Okay, so it makes the Prime Minister accountable in the parliament, right? And opposition plays a key role by questioning the Prime Minister on important specific topics. So Mr. Shashur says that we also need to have the Prime Minister's question time in the Parliament of India, so that the Prime Minister at least attends the Parliament of let's say debate in the Parliament of India, and he answers queries of the opposition parties there. That's the thing. So these two concepts have been mentioned by Mr. Shashi Tharoor, and that's why he says that India's parliament and democracy can be saved if government and opposition come together on basic matters. Practices in the House of Westminster could offer solutions. So he say that these two ways can offer solutions. Okay, two solutions to the parliamentary inactivity in India or parliamentary disruptions in India. That's the thing. So this article is good. So with this, we will move to the next topic quickly. Then we have another topic. It says assessing the outcomes of G20 summit. Okay, assessing the outcomes of G20 summit. This is again a very important and good article. We are going to discuss some concepts through this article. So let's see what is the topic. assessing outcomes of G20 summit. Now, let's talk about it. So, the G20 summit that has recently concluded, right, in India. So, India had presidency of G20 summit, okay. So, India had presidency, and during India's presidency we have seen New Delhi Leaders Declaration, okay. So, there was a New Delhi Leaders Declaration. New Delhi Leaders Declaration. So, this New Delhi Leader Declaration is itself a significant achievement for India, because like at a time when Russia is engaged in a perpetual warfare with Ukraine. So many countries across the world, they are demanding that Russia should stop from doing any further warfare. They should go for ceasefire. They should go for peace building. And like in G20, we have presence of Canada, we have presence of USA. So they are particularly, let's say they want that in the G20 presidency, there should be a consensus document that condemns Russia. And Russia is also a member of G20. China is member of G20. And Russia, China, they are, let's say, good allies. They are good friends. So they do not want any kind of, let's say, like paragraph there, that condemns Russia. So that has been a challenge. However, we have come up with some consensus, and this has been accepted by all members. So this New Delhi Leaders Declaration itself talks about the, the success of India's presidency during G20. And other important thing is addition. Other important thing of the G20 Leaders Declaration is addition of African Union, okay, African Union, AU, as a permanent member, okay, as a permanent member of G20 grouping. So with this, G20 will become G21. So African Union will become a member of it. Alright. So during India's presidency, we have expanded the membership of G20. So that's again a significant achievement. And also here in this article, the author has talked about that there has been a consensus, which is threefold yardstick consensus: additionality, consensus, additionality and implementability. So the author says these have been the outcome of the New Delhi, India's G20 presidency, and we have adopted many targets, there are targets related to environmental action, there are targets related to, improving the economic activity in the G20 countries, and also we also want to, let's say, improve the multilateral or multinational development banks, okay. So that's the thing. So author says that this G20 Leaders Summit has given an opportunity to India, and during its opportunity India has done its best, but we also need to make sure that whatever let's say plans that we have made, right, so they are implemented in the best spirit, okay, they are implemented in the best possible manner. So that's why author says that the summit has been a major political and diplomatic success for G20 and for India, okay. So author has mentioned many things, okay, that paragraph, so there are many paragraphs that are mentioned, so it is not important to go through all of it, but you need to understand what are the outcomes of G20 summit. So with this, we will move to another topic quickly. This topic is important under environment and ecology, okay, it is important under environment and ecology. It's important for the prelims exam, and also it is important for mains exam under GS paper 3, okay. So let's discuss about this topic. It says Project Cheetah, a year on. So let's discuss about this project. This topic is again important. So let's understand what is Project Cheetah. So Project Cheetah is a project which is known as Cheetah Reintroduction Program. Okay, it is Cheetah Reintroduction Program. So what is this? Basically, like, cheetah has been declared as extinct from the Indian subcontinent way back when India became an independent nation. So in 1950s, during that time, during 1950s, cheetah were declared as extinct, and we wanted to reintroduce cheetah in Indian subcontinent, so that we have good number of, let's say, cheetahs and their population here in India. So we have initiated Cheetah Reintroduction Program. Okay, we have initiated Cheetah Reintroduction Program, and we have initiated Project Cheetah. And this Project Cheetah has been initiated on 17th September 2022. So it has completed 1 year since its introduction. Cheetah, Project Cheetah. So what we did under Project Cheetah, so basically we have imported, okay, we have imported cheetahs in India. From where we have imported? See, 8 cheetahs were imported from Namibia. Namibia is a country in Africa. Then 12 cheetahs were imported from South Africa, were brought from South Africa. Okay, 12 cheetahs were brought from South Africa. And so in all, how many cheetahs we have introduced? 20 cheetahs. So these 8 cheetahs were brought, in 2022 itself. These 12 cheetahs were brought in 2023 in February. And these were brought in, I think, September or October. So after bringing these cheetahs from Africa, Namibia is an African country, South Africa is an African country. Okay, so after bringing these cheetahs from Africa, what we have done is we have reintroduced them in a national park which is known as Kuno National Park. Okay, where? Kuno National Park. Where is this national park located? This Kuno National Park is located in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, it is located in Madhya Pradesh. That's an important information. Kuno National Park, okay, it is located in Madhya Pradesh. But the thing is, out of those 20 cheetahs, 8 cheetahs died. Okay, 8 or 6 cheetahs have died, I think. Okay, 6 cheetahs died. And there are many reasons for death of cheetahs. Some cheetahs were not able to, let's say, survive in the climatic conditions of India. Some cheetahs found the habitat to be very small as compared to their range. Okay, so whenever cheetahs move, so cheetah is a kind of nomadic, what we say, animal. So cheetahs need a very good habitat. Okay, habitat means the place where they can range. Okay, so cheetah does have a range. So let's say it has been introduced here. So they will move in all directions from one place. It will move to all directions without thinking of any kind of danger, because they are the high level predators. Okay, they are the high level predators. And why we want to reintroduce cheetah? Because cheetah reintroduction will balance the ecosystem. Okay, it is going to balance the ecosystem. How it balances the ecosystem? Because in ecosystem we do have a food chain where we have, let's say, producers, we have primary consumers, we have secondary consumers, we have tertiary consumers, or let's say, like, those consumers that feed upon other consumers, okay, the carnivorous animals, okay. So, like, in a ecosystem we need the presence of all, let's say, like, animals, or like we need presence of species at all levels of the food chain. We need the producers, and to producers in the sense we need plants, we need, let's say, those animals that feed upon those plants, the herbivorous animals, and we also need those animals that feed upon those animals, okay, so that the plants can be safeguarded. I mean, like, there should be a natural balance in the ecosystem. That's the thing, okay. So that's why it is important. However, the major reason that of their death was because, like, they did not have a proper habitat, so they need bigger habitat. I mean, like, in this article they have mentioned that, like, the cheetahs need bigger habitat, and so we need to first, right, increase the habitat of cheetah. We need to have at least 5,000 square kilometers, okay. We need 5,000 square kilometer of area, right, so that, like, cheetahs can be introduced. And if we bring more cheetahs, so they are not going to do any good, because, like, only bringing cheetah will see death of cheetahs at a later date, which is going to defame the country, right. So this is the thing. So in this article they have mentioned about the reasons for death of cheetahs, okay, and also they have talked about the collar, okay. So, like, there are I mean, like, cheetahs are given some kind of collar, okay. These collar has geotags. I mean, like, they are able to track where the cheetah has gone, okay. So this is the thing. And they have mentioned about some cubs also. They, like, 4 cubs were born, but, like, 3 of them died, and 4th was not accepted by the mother of the cheetahs. So it says, sir, is cheetah a keystone species? Cheetah is an important species of the ecosystem. However, I need to check the definition of keystone, right. So that's the thing. It says, now this is another topic. It says, why is the government pushing for regulatory mechanism for OTT services, okay. Why is government pushing for regulatory mechanism for OTT services? So we are going to understand about this topic quickly. Name of the topic is why is the government pushing for regulatory mechanism? Pushing for regulatory mechanism for OTT services. So we are going to understand this particular topic in detail, okay. Why is the government pushing for regulatory mechanism for OTT services? First of all, let us understand what do we mean by OTT services, and, like, what are the different types of OTT services we have, right. OTT services. One of the type of OTT services that is mentioned in this article is, like, over the top communication services, okay. So first of all we need to understand OTT. What is the full form? It is known as over the top, okay, over the top, in short OTT, over the top services. One of the type of OTT services is known as OTT communication services, okay, OTT communication services. OTT communication services. This is one type. Second type is OTT content services, okay, OTT content services. So when we talk about OTT communication services, I mean like, using internet, all those platforms that provide communication facility, so they come under OTT communication services. For example, WhatsApp, okay, WhatsApp will be an OTT communication services, right? The platform X means Twitter, earlier Twitter, it will come under OTT services. And then Facebook, right? If we talk about Facebook, so it's also going to be a part of OTT communication services. Means earlier when we were making mobile phone calls, right? So we were dialing the number and we were making calls to the person. So that were using let's say like, the telecom service provider, okay? So that were using the internet of the telecom service provider. However, using OTT communication services, we are able to do the same thing. We are able to make calls, normal calls, video calls. We are able to send messages also, okay? So what we do, we make normal calls, we make video calls, right? We make video calls and we send messages, okay? We send messages using these platforms. And what is OTT content services? OTT content services, for example, if I talk about Netflix, right? If we talk about Amazon Prime, if we talk about govt, etc. So they will be considered as OTT content services. So they provide contents, right? And how they are regulated, how these things are regulated. So like, under which ministry or under which mechanism do they come? So when we talk about OTT communication services, this comes under Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI, okay? It comes under Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. And under this we have something which is known as DOT, which is known as Department of Telecommunication, okay? Department of Telecommunication. And if I talk about OTT content services, they come under the purview of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, okay? It comes under the purview of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. That's the thing. I mean, OTTs are of different types and they will be regulated by different departments or different ministries, okay? So TRAI means like, we have Ministry of Telecommunication, okay? So like, we have Ministry of Telecommunication or Ministry of and then like, it comes, the OTT content services comes under Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. But the issue that we are going to talk about, that issue will be related to the first type of OTT services, which is OTT communication services. So what is the issue all about? So when we talk about OTT communication services, we are going to discuss about the issues now. So having understood the different types of OTT platforms, let's now talk about the OTT communication services, okay? Let's discuss about OTT communication services. So under OTT communication services, let's say like, the actual thing which is in place, right? So which is in place, for example, like, we have some telecom companies, okay? So we have some telecom companies and in newspaper articles they refer them as telcos, means telecom companies, okay? Telecom companies examples would be, let's say, Jio, would be Vodafone, Idea, like Airtel, etc. Okay. So these, I mean like, we do have our mobile phones, we do have our mobile phones. What we will do, like we have our SIM card also in the mobile phone, and we use prepaid or postpaid services. So we pay to these companies for making voice calls, for sending messages, and to access internet. So like we make voice calls, we send messages, and we access internet. And these companies do a huge expenditure. I mean telecom companies, okay. What kind of expenditure? First of all, they get license from the government to operate, okay. They get license from the government. So for that, it pays license fees to the government, right? Apart from this, apart from getting license from the government, they also install infrastructures, okay. They install infrastructure. Why do they install infrastructure? For establishing telecom towers, okay, for establishing telecom towers and other things, so that internet can be made accessible. And they do huge amount of installation, so they incur huge amount of cost in terms of license fee and in terms of infrastructure cost. So these telecom companies are saying to the government, what they are saying to the government, they are saying that we are the ones who are making huge number of expenditures in terms of license fee for the government and also for establishing infrastructure. And these OTT communication services, okay, these OTT communication services, so let me rub it. So now here let me write down OTT communication service platform, okay, OTT communication service platform. How they are eroding the, let's say like what we say, how they are eroding the business of these telecom companies. One thing is like they are providing all these things. What they are providing, let's say voice calls facility, they are providing messaging facility, means like using WhatsApp we can send message, we can make voice calls, we can make video calls also. They are providing all of it. And these platforms, right, what these platforms are doing, these platforms I am writing over here, they need no license from the government, okay, and they do no infrastructure, right, they do no infrastructure installation, means like they do not install tower, they do not get license, and they are generating profit, but like at the same time they are eroding the profit of these companies. And so that's why the telecom companies, they want that like these OTT communication service platforms, they should share the benefit with the telecom companies, okay, they should share the revenues with the telecom companies. So this is the issue, okay, this is one of the issue, okay. So they want that they should share the revenue. And also now there is an issue of selective ban on apps, okay. So there is an issue which is floated by Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. What they have said, that can we go for selective ban of OTT communication services, OTT communication service apps. So it has been floated by the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. What they have sought, let's say like some suggestion from the public that can we go for selective ban of OTT apps, okay, like I am writing here OTT apps. So why they want to selectively ban it? So for that, like one of the reason is, let's say like those places that are riot hit. So generally the government of India, what they do, they cut down all the communication channels over there. They shut down the internet. If they shut down the internet, people are not able to use, let's say like WhatsApp and all. So instead of going for blanket ban of the internet, so TRAI has thought that we can go for selective ban of these applications. If we selectively ban these applications, so there will not be, let's say like internet ban, and we will be able to, government will be able to, let's say like have some control over the riot affected area. So that was one of the thing, means like one of the idea was to control the riot hit area, okay, riot hit area. Control in the sense I have discussed in detail about it. Now second issue is, let's say, like, the issue of these telecom service companies, okay, the issue of telecom service companies. So they are in favor that, like, these OTT platforms should be banned, okay, that's the thing. However, there are different stakeholders here, okay, there are different stakeholders, okay, and they have all given suggestion. So in this article they have mentioned about those stakeholders. One of the stakeholder is known as Cellular Operators Association of India, okay, one of the stakeholder is Cellular Operators Association of India, okay, Cellular Operators Association of India, COAI. So this Cellular Operator Association of India is raising the voice of the telecom service providers. Telecom service providers means companies like Jio, companies like Airtel, Vodafone Idea, etc. Okay, Vodafone Idea, etc. So this is one party. Other party, there are many other parties. One is known as the Internet and Mobile Association of India, okay. So this is on one side. Then we have, let's say, Internet and Mobile Association of India, Internet and Mobile Association of India. So this Internet and Mobile Association of India talk about net neutrality, that, like, net means like selective banning of application is against the principle of net neutrality. Net neutrality means the internet should be neutral, right? So internet should be freely accessible, and all the apps that are available, they should be freely accessible to the consumers without any kind of bias by the telecom service providers. So, like, this is the concept of net neutrality. So the Internet and Mobile Association of India talks about this particular thing. Then we have the Internet Freedom Foundation. They also take the side of net neutrality and all. So now we are at a crossroad, means like what's going to happen. So the thing is, like, the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India has already received, right, it has already received, let's say, like, inputs from the public, and it is about to come up with some kind of guidelines in this regard. So we need to wait and watch that how it is going to happen, right? So this is the thing. So that's the thing, means like, we need to wait and watch how let's say this particular issue crops up in the future. Chirag has written something. In the past few months, telecom companies are demanding royalty from OTTs because customers are using Jio, Airtel internet and using, let's say, GMAT or WhatsApp for making calls and SMS and cutting down telcos bus, right, business. Right, you have written it right. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, so I hope, like, this topic is clearly understood. With this, let us quickly move to the other topic. Then we have one more topic. This is important under art and culture, I would say. This is important under art and culture. It's important for the prelims exam. We need to understand this topic. It says Santiniketan finds its place on UNESCO's World Heritage List. So what is Santiniketan? So here in this article they have mentioned Santiniketan is a town which was established by Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore. Okay, so Rabindranath Tagore has established this particular town, and so this is the building that we see. This is known as Santiniketan Griha, the oldest house in Santiniketan, built by Rabindranath Tagore's father. Okay, Maharishi Devendranath Tagore. Okay, so this has been built by this house has been built by Maharishi Devendranath Tagore. He was the father of Rabindranath, and Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore, I mean, like, so like he is also associated with this. So this particular place Santiniketan, it has received UNESCO's World Heritage List, right, tag. It has received UNESCO World Heritage List tag. So that's why it is important. Okay, so this is Santiniketan is also known as Abode of Peace. Okay, so this has been built in 1901. So recently a declaration was made by the UNESCO World Heritage Site, UNESCO World, UNESCO, that this Santiniketan has been considered as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. That's the thing. And which places, which areas, there are natural sites, for example, national parks, etc., can receive UNESCO World Heritage tag, and man-made sites can also receive UNESCO World Heritage tag. So this Santiniketan has received this particular tag under this particular category, which is World Heritage tag points out to the place exhibit an important interchange in human values over a span of time or within a cultural area of the world on developments in architecture and technology, monumental arts, town planning or landscape design, etc. Okay, so this is important. It is important for the prelims exam. Okay, so that's the thing. So this is the 41st. Okay, this is the 41st World Heritage Site in India. Okay, this is the 41st World Heritage Site in India. Earlier we had 40, now this became the 41st World Heritage Site in India. This is important. Okay, Santiniketan. Then we are going to talk about this thing. It says committing to helping artisans, says Prime Minister unveils 13,000 crore scheme. So Government of India has recently launched a 13,000 crore scheme, and this scheme is known as Pradhan Mantri Vishwakarma Yojana. And this was recently launched, and it let's say tries to provide, it will provide, let's say, benefit to the artisans, people like who are doing many, let's say, crafts. Okay, they are doing many crafts. So that's the thing. So this is the thing. I mean, in this article they have mentioned about it. So they have talked about vocal for local, many other, let's say, government related thing, I mean, is mentioned. So we just need to understand about Pradhan Mantri Vishwakarma Yojana. So this is launched on Sunday, and it will equip craftspeople with the technology to augment their skills for the modern market. That's the thing. Okay. Then we have another topic. So I'll be little quick in these topics. Okay, I'll take hardly 5 minutes. One of this topic, it says European Union chief promises a plan of action as migrants flock to Italian island. So many migrants have, let's say, come to the Italian islands. So these migrants, I mean, so they are immigrants. Basically, they came without visa. They came without passport. So they are illegal immigrants. However, under international law, there are, let's say, there are protections that are available to refugee or refuge seekers. Okay. So in this article, they have talked about a specific place which is known as Lampedusa. What is the name of the place? Its name is Lampedusa. So it is an island. This island belongs to Italy. So in this article, we are going to locate this particular island. So here we see this is, let's say, this is Italy. Okay. And this is Lampedusa. This is the location of Lampedusa. So this is where, let's say, migrants are coming. Okay. So in Italy. So where is Italy located? Italy is located in Europe. Okay. So this is Italy. This is the location of Italy. So side by side, we have also included the map of Europe. So this is where Lampedusa is located, somewhere here. Okay, somewhere here. Okay. So in this article, this is important for us to understand. Apart from this, this is again another topic that is related to Cheetah. So Government of India said Cheetah project is on the right path of success. So in this article, they have mentioned about a report. That report, it is recently released by the Government of India. They have said that Cheetah reintroduction program is functioning well, and it is, let's say, on path of success. That's the thing. Okay, so you need to go through this article in your free time. And another topic, it is related to US-Iran relationship. So US and Iran, they have been there have been tensions between their relation, and there have been times when they cooperated with one another. Okay, so there have been times when they cooperated with one another. So in this article they have mentioned about a specific girl, I mean, like, you know, who has not weared hijab in public places, and, like, you know, some of the moral police from Iran, so they have detained that person, that lady, and they have put her into jail, and she died in the custody. And after then there have been many riots in Iran, and that had led to killings of more people. Around 700 people died, or let's say, like, you know, more than 500 people have died in Iran. So in this article they talked about, let's say, like, you know, the kind of relation between Iran and USA. Okay, so this is related to international relations. Okay, so that's the thing. So with this, that's all for the day from my side. Thank you so much everyone for attending today's session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Chirag has mentioned something. Any detail about Santiniketan you can provide? Okay, definitely we will discuss about it maybe in next lecture. So that's all from my side for the day. Thank you so much, Chirag, for joining online and writing things on your comment. Thank you so much.